EdTech u Evropi, kako premostiti jaz između industrije i akademije. Ovaj deo našeg programa biće na engleskom jeziku, te bih vas zamolila, učesnike u sali, da ukoliko imate potrebu, preuzmete slušalice za prevod od naših tehničara. Učesnici koji nas prate online imaju omogućen prevod. Moderator ove panel diskusije je profesor dr. Uglješa Marjanović sa Fakulteta tehničkih nauka Univerziteta u Novom Sadu i on će nam vrlo brzo predstaviti naše veoma zanimljive paneliste i panelistkinje. A pre nego što mu prepustim reč da to uradi, poželjela bih dobrodošlicu svima onima koji su nam se umeđu vremenu priključili. Takođe, još jednom bih podsjetila sve one učesnike i učesnice koji nas prate online da popune formular o prisustvu koji se nalazi u komentarima i takođe tu možete postaviti i pitanja za naše paneliste koje ćemo i mi proslediti nešto kasnije. I još jednom podsjetnik da se konferencija snima, tako da ukoliko ste propustili neki deo današnjeg programa, moći ćete za nekoliko dana da na našem YouTube-u pogledate celokupnu konferenciju. Profesore, izvolite, možemo da počnemo.
Hvala mnogo. I'm going to now switch to English and just to introduce you my today's guests. First of all, I would like to say that we are all coming from one big consortium within Horizon Europe project called EdTech Talents, which started last year and it's going to last for 4 years. On my right side, I have Professor Janika Leoste from Tallinn University, Estonia. Next to the Professor Leoste, I have Luis Peña from Lourdes Rules, a company located in Madrid from Spain. Then I have Gerli. Gerli is the manager of the EdTech Estonia. It's the umbrella organization founded by the ministry in Estonia. And then next to the Gerli, I have Adam Horvat. He's the manager of the EdTech Hungary. The name is Education Next, and he's coming from Budapest, Hungary. The first question regarding our educational technology and digital education overall, we're going to be related to my panelists. So I'm going to start with Professor Leoste. I know that Estonia did very good this year with the PISA results. And I know that a lot of countries are trying to be very good in Europe and in the world, but still Estonians are beating them. Can you share your insights on that one? Can you tell us why Estonia is so good and why is #1 with the PISA results in Europe and overall?
Thank you, Professor Marjanovic. Actually, this is the very first question every educational delegation asks whenever visiting Tallinn University, because we are one of 2 teacher training universities in Estonia. And I would say there are a few speculations. We can blame bad weather, or we can also say that we have free food for children, starting first classes until the secondary and even the vocational education. And also we can say that although average age of Estonian teachers is about 50 years, at the same time they are so experienced in teaching, but of course it poses a risk that we are running out of teachers in 10, 15 years. But maybe the answer you are expecting from me now could be that Estonian government has taken extremely seriously digitalizing the education. And I remember that already more than 10 years ago, there was funding to acquire digital technology to kindergartens. So basically, Estonia has several funds to acquire educational technology with some discounts, and also teacher training universities have regular training programs to upskill teachers' digital skills. And also the teachers' digital skills are to be measured, and it counts whenever we talk about their professionalism. Thank you.
Oh, very great. So maybe we can steal some of your, secrets and then try to apply in our educational system as well. Luis, first of all, you are the entrepreneur, owner of the company, and previously you were also a professor, and then you decided that you should quit and then start your own business, and then that's how you can help educational system in Spain. And your company is developing various solutions for how to retrieve the knowledge, not only in the companies but also in the various systems. Can you share some insights how you can contribute to the EdTech ecosystem of Spain and what actually you do in your company? Thank you.
Thank you, Glasa. So yeah, first of all, the main point of moving and trying to extract the knowledge from the university and bring it to the companies is one of the ideas that we got when we create the company, because we are researching for many years and we know that we need to do something else to bring the research that is in many cases is retained inside the university to bring it to the society in some point. We are from the computer science part, so we do what we know, so we cannot invent too many things. But we are always a discipline of technology that is supporting others. So we are not developing things for us, we are developing things from others. So one of the approaches when we go in some projects to the educational or any level of education from degrees to vocational studies is just to try to use the information that we got and the experience of the users to create systems that support the activity in some point. So using AI to analyze or making profiles to suggest courses or any other way to enhance the education, not only for the students alone, but also for teachers, trying to suggest them, okay, for the profile of user of students that you got, could be the way to prepare something, giving some tools. So we are creating tools for them. And in the other end, we go to the approach of creating just pure environments for teaching through simulations and video games, trying to create something that is feasible, making collaboration with real second degrees professors that they want to bring technology and use another, well, first, not bringing technology, bringing new forms of teaching and using, suggested by us probably, some technology to support their action, because if one teacher has a great idea and he move it into his classes, it's hard for him to reach other teachers. So where is there is the point where the technology can help. We can create something that is easily exportable for all the other teachers in the country, and they use that as another material, so another point of using that. So I think that this is the main idea of using that. So I think it's at least is our approach, trying to bring something that we learn from the research to the real use in the point. So that's the idea.
I'm glad to hear that, because this morning on the opening panel we heard that we have also here in Serbia AI tutor available for the teachers. So I'm glad that Serbia is not lacking behind. Thank you. And Geril, you are working in, I would say, one of the best umbrella EdTech organization in Europe. EdTech Estonia is a very successful one, first of all. You have more than 50 companies established by, your organization established by Ministry of Education, and it would recognize the need of this. And here in Serbia, we know about one successful company, Skype. I know it's coming from Estonia, but definitely there are definitely more. And Estonia is #1 of usage of the internet. So I would say that it's easy for you guys to do it, right? So can you share some insights? What was the main trigger in Estonia that happened that the ministry decided to establish such organization, and what kind of support do you receive from the government?
Thank you for the question. Wow. First of all, yeah, we do have such a nice organization. We do have right now 50 plus members, like you said, and we have really good relationship with our government. And by that, we are actually funded by our government. And to be more specific, we are funded by our Ministry of Education and Research. And we also do a lot of cooperation to understand where is the market need and what we have to provide. And we also have one, I would say like a cool thing, MO, which is a memorandum of relations, which means that we are not competing with our government in the market. And if there is some kind of need for a new solution or technology, then they will ask or advise that there is some kind of need, what we can also like support them and like put all the ideas together. And yes, and what else? Our EdTechs are really cool.
But what happened in Estonia? Like that ministry said, yes, we want to invest in you guys. I mean, why not other countries in Europe is doing the same thing, right? Because here in Serbia, our EdTech center is bottom-up approach. We try to like, work with the teachers and with the different stakeholders, and then to approach to our ministry and ask for help. But in your case, it's different.
Yes, I think but I know that our private sector has more resources. By resources, I mean more knowledge, maybe even more time to go more deeply and be more specific what they're doing, and that's how they can keep in touch with their target group and talk with them where is the need. So together with the private sector and the government, we can provide more better solutions.
Great. And Adam, you're coming from another ecosystem, which is close to ours, to Serbia, and there is a big change going on over there. Hungary was first start investing in EdTech. Now there is something else going on. I know there is a lot of like trouble with especially European projects, money, etc. So what's the situation in the EdTech ecosystem in Hungary? Can you just describe a little bit?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, we are a little bit in opposite situation, just what you explained. We are also, as you mentioned, we are building it bottom up, and we found our organization from companies only, and there is no government involvement behind us. But we would like to just achieve some kind of a recognition from the government, and for the next year there will be some kind of a refreshment for the national curriculum, and for that we would like to just offer our consultancy to the government on how education technology could be involved a little bit more than zero. Because right now this is the situation. As you just mentioned, that this is just some kind of a roller coaster for the last 20 years. At some point we just pour some money in the education, and now we are just retrieving money from education. And this is how actually the European Schoolnet just explained it as the next wave. The education technology development comes in waves. And now we are in the valley between two waves. And this is strongly related to pedagogical results of education technology usage. And I think this is the first time when the education technology got to that point that a huge amount of money went into that, and now the politicians expect results. And they try to match directly the educational outcomes to the education technology usage. which is not easy to just match them directly. So internet usage or using laptops can contribute to some outcomes if you have the right pedagogy behind that. So if you use only technology just to replace the school books, the textbooks, actually that in this case education will be much more expensive, but the results will not come. So and now those type of development which education technology can really support are not really measured by the governments, not only in Hungary, but in many other cases as well. So they are focusing on lexical knowledge outcome, but it is really hard to measure collaborational skills, critical thinking, and these are the things which can be, and this can be only developed by using education technology, because the technology itself created the situation in which it became very essential. So if there would be no internet, then you won't be necessarily need to be able to handle internet. But there is the internet, there is AI, there is a huge amount of sources of information which you have to be able to filter, search, validate, and so on. And these are new type of competences which were not in the educational outcome requirements previously. And now, so the education technology companies are really struggling in making it heard or understood that why education technology is not needed for replacing school books, but to develop those skills which are essential for a 21st century life.
So you're saying that we are a little bit going back, but if the Hungary or maybe Serbia are not investing enough, then we will never gonna beat Estonia. So Estonia will gonna be always #1, right? So it's a tough one, I know. And this morning we heard that technology will not going to replace teachers, but just to enhance them, to be better, to be more competent, to be more efficient and more productive. Since this panel is about how to cross the gap between research and companies, industry and academia, Professor Leoste, from your experience, how can you help EdTech companies in Estonia to be better? Since you are in the educational system, you're working with the students, you are doing the research, you are working on this computer-human interaction as well. You're very active with robots in the education, in the classroom. Can you share just a little bit insights? How can you, how you are actually collaborating with companies in Estonia?
Thank you. When talking about collaboration with industry, of course there's EdTech industry, but there is also industry in general or also service sector. And as a teacher training university, we are also responsible for lifelong learning. And maybe one of my favorite, how to say, intrigues I would like to pose that, okay, there are so much talk about that there will be more jobs created by emerging technologies than the jobs that will disappear. And don't worry, even if you lose your job, there will be 2 times more jobs. But nobody is explaining that there is a tiny digital skills gap. So if you are, let's say, truck driver today, you won't be able to drive drones immediately. Or you won't be able to be operator of self-driving cars. So this is something and that you should learn. You, as an adult person, we all know how difficult it is to find the time for learning. And that's also something we have to consider. So when we are talking about including digital technology in schools, we also have to consider how to include this digital technology while training adult people who might lose their job in 1 day, in 1 month, in 1 year. We don't know, but most likely it will happen. And now, when I would like to share just maybe some examples. real-life examples. One will be about EdTech company, a well-established EdTech company. They released a new product, but the product doesn't sell, neither in home market, neither in other markets. And what could be the problem? The problem is that they just designed a product because they could design a product, but they didn't align it with curriculum. So this is one thing, that whenever an EdTech company intends to design a new product or service, especially for the foreign markets, they have to become aware what is the precise curriculum, what are the social cultural differences. So it's a one good example why EdTech companies should go to these old academy people, foreign academy research people. And another part maybe related to more about this industry or producing like more expensive robots, like social robots, service robots. So there are just companies selling robots or selling technology, but now when we try to implement already these robots not only in teaching learning process, but they should enhance human capability, they should strengthen humans, they should enhance humans, then what do we need? We need scenarios. We need the scenarios, okay, there were 2 people, now there will be 2 people and 2 robots, and they will be able to do something 5 times more effectively, but how? We have to pilot it, we have to design it, it's like a playwriting, you know. And that means that maybe our educational system needs a really strong push out of the comfort zone, because there is no educational research, digital research. Everything has to become interdisciplinary. Otherwise, we are not going to assure the smooth digital transition for the whole population. Thanks.
That's a tough one. You mentioned this collaboration between companies and academia, and that the companies are actually asking for your advice. Luis, do you seek any advice from your professors in Spain? And do you find their level of competencies enough, or you're just doing everything in-house, rather not to be involved?
Well, in our case, first of all is that the 3 founders of the company we are former professors and researchers, so we try to consultate among us, so it's not too funny doing so. But in many cases, we realize that it's important to find people that want to be consulted. So not all the researchers that are in the university has the willing to go into the details that a company will need of his or her knowledge to be applied. Because in many cases you create specific questions that are not in general treated by the research. So you have to go into the point, okay, this is your model, it's perfect, but for our problem, this is what we need. And you have to find the right person with the right mind to answer that questions directly without making something too theoretical, because you lose in time. You are not wanting to write a new paper for a congress. You need some product to be developed in the next months. So you need to move forward. But during these years, we are being involved in many projects with different research institutions in the European framework of different programs. And we came across of many of researchers that have a good mindset to work together with companies and extract from them the correct knowledge. And unfortunately, we found some others that not. So they are related with something that is not feasible for us to treat, and you have to bring them to the floor and say, okay, this is great, but I need this month, not 1 year from now, because it's not feasible to do it so. And this is a struggle that I try to understand, because I've been in the both sides, which makes me more sensitive about this nature of its kind, but it's something that you have to struggle with. It's not easy. But in many cases, there are a lot of knowledge, and not all knowledge in many people in the universities that are willing to move. But you have to find. It's not easy to to bring them in the company. So that's the idea.
You just confirmed that in my case as well, the professors are not that agile, so they cannot adapt that quickly. Yeah, so we are struck with these burdens that we need time, do the research, and then eventually we're gonna find some solution to your problems. Yeah, but sometimes this is just not that quick. Sometimes it comes too late. Gerli, your 50+ companies are definitely something that we can learn from, and then all these solutions that they are developing can be applied in the educational system. But what kind of collaboration do you have in universities? Do you approach to them, or they approach to you? Do you have any you mentioned that ministry sometimes is asking your opinions. So can you explain this kind of process that we can maybe learn from?
Yeah, I think it's more like both sides, that the universities are contacting with us to do some kind of projects, and the other side that the companies see that for them is like a quality sign to do cooperation with researchers and some experts when they are especially trying to export their services. And we do have right now a few of the projects or programs what we're doing. One of them is a really cool co-creation program. So it is with universities, our companies, and teachers from the schools or the kindergartens. And there they're trying to find difficult, for the companies, like difficult problems with what they can handle together with the researchers, and trying to find what is the real impact or the value what the company is going to create in the future, or what it wants to create. And also with the researchers, we are also doing the hackathons together. To understand what kind of services we need, and also where is the problem, and how we can solve it. And what else? It's like both sides, but like I said, it is really popular in Estonia right now to do cooperation with the researchers, and also the government is proposing it also to do more because our clients at schools or the parents at home are want to use and want to see more of the solutions and the products in the market that are supported from the researchers or the science is behind that.
So everything is appointed to the student, right, and to the parent, and then all the solutions are tailored to them. So this is the way how we can work. Yeah, great, thank you for your insights. Adam, you're very active lately. You just came back from Iceland. You're going next week in Indonesia, helping them for digital transformation. But in those activities, in those processes, do you call for the help from your academic colleagues, maybe from Obuda, from any other university in Hungary, or you prefer to do it yourself?
No, of course we involve universities. Actually, we became to be partners within this program through the Obuda University, and we are really lucky for that. But coming back to this point, actually it is really hard to find the right person in the university era, because education technology is not one thing. It's really, really, really fractured. So there are different problems which education technology are just trying to solve, and they are so fragmented, it is really hard to find that person who is capable of just understanding the problem itself. So we are really lucky to get involved within this project, because in this case, the EdTech Talents program is sending different type of university people to companies, and there is much higher chance to meet the right person in this way. And within this exchange, I really found it fascinating that how the university people and the companies are just trying to open for to exchange and to understand the perspective of the other person. And this is really true that without the pedagogical background, without curriculum mapping, without understanding of how the education process is done within the cognitive system, it is really hard to develop any kind of educational technology solutions. And now there are too many educational technology solutions without some kind of educational validation. And now I think the next wave can only be achieved when the university, academia is working together with education technologies, because otherwise they won't be able to prove that what education technology will be necessary. There will be too much, and the governments will not finance them all. So I think this is the next step in the evolution for education technology, in which academia and EdTech should work really hard together. And this is something which you can see in successful educational systems, like in Estonia, or in many cases in Denmark, or in very small areas in other countries as well. But you can tell that only educational systems can be successful when this type of cooperation exists. Just one example of relevance is that everyone knows that prompt engineering is something which you have to deal with. And if you go to university, and you check that is prompt engineering somewhere in the curriculum, and they say, yes, we are thinking about that. Within the next 5 years, we will put prompt engineering into the higher educational curriculum. But in the next 5 years, prompt engineering will disappear because it will not be necessary anymore. It's not a job itself, it's just a skill. And now it is really hard to find that what is a skill, a competence, what is a knowledge, and how you can just involve these type of activities into that.
Excellent point. Thank you for explanation. And Janika, we just thought about good examples, and within our project, this EdTech Talents, we realized that academians or professors or researchers, when you ask them to share their profiles, they're gonna just say, these are my papers, this is my age index, this is my number of references that I have achieved so far. And then when they approach to the companies, they don't understand this language, those terms. So we try to come up with a new additional research profiles by explaining how can researcher help and what kind of problems or issues they can solve to the companies itself. So is this the major obstacle in your opinion to move forward? That more researchers can provide their knowledge services to the industry, or there is anything else?
Thank you. I think that how to offer your knowledge to the industry or market is somewhat related to your research, what you have done so far. And as at least half of our consortium members come from educational sciences, it means that in many countries, the educational sciences has been somewhat theoretical. We discuss about things, how the teaching should happen, but it's not as much applied sciences. And now when we ask people or researchers, okay, you should somewhat offer your knowledge to the society, then they ask, what? I'm teaching. That's the way I'm sharing the knowledge. So they are not easily understanding what is the connection between the knowledge they have, how the teaching should happen, and educational technology. And I think that is the main obstacle when talking about knowledge profiles, because as a researcher, how my knowledge profile looks like. Okay, I have specific age index, I have specific amount of publications or international projects, and then the industry comes and asks, what do you do? Or what do you know? Or how you can useful for me? You know, I want to increase my sales. What you can do for me? And that's the point the researcher's brain will blow. because researchers are not, don't think in the context of money. But at the same time, as we have been talking already today, actually there is a huge need that educational researchers would start working with applying their knowledge. Because we definitely need some new, cool, innovative, emerging teaching methods. Because you all have read European Commission documents that by 2030 or something, like every adult person should learn something new during the year. But how? There should be something innovative. But who is going to implement it? These researchers with industry, because researchers can't educate. There has to be other people. So they have to take out knowledge of them, how to do it. The first step is that they could describe publicly, what can I do? What do I know? How can I help you? As simple as it is.
Thank you. Thank you for this explanation. And Luis, when I was visiting your company and spending 1 month in Madrid, and I visited also some universities, some consultancy companies, and what I realized that a lot of Spanish EdTech companies are developing products for the Spanish market. And there is a huge market in Latin America who speaks your language, right? And then a lot of them said that the rest of the Europe is not market for your companies. I mean, you're lucky because Latin America is there, or you created that market. So my question for you is, what needs to be changed in order to be motivated that the rest of the Europe could be a potential market for the Spanish companies?
It's hard to make attractive the rest of Europe for the companies, because the main problem, and we all know, is that each of the countries, even in Latin America, each of the countries has its peculiarities with the educational system. And you can create an application like Duolingo or something like that could be for worldwide market, okay? But if you go into something that is specific for some degree or some stage of the education, you have to struggle with the differences of the systems. And the problem in Europe is that there are too many differences, and make an adaptation is not an easy task in general. So it's going to spend probably first you have to meet the experts that can help you to really know how the system is working in this country you want to deploy. And then you have to invest many hours, important amount of money, with the risk of not recovering. So the problem for the companies is the same. So it's you try to maximize the profit, but with the less invest. So in general, in Spain, happens that we have enough market with the Spanish speakers. But even in that case, I think that most of the people that creates, at least in Spain, where I've been meeting, creates company for EdTech, they don't have a very hungry mentality as a company. They don't want to be in a unicorn. They want to make something that for them is profitable because they are a company, but they don't want to blow up the world with that application. They want to live doing that things, because in many cases, the people that goes into the EdTech companies is people that really love to teach. They are parents in some point, so they move more from the heart than from the head. So they don't really think about making something really with a big impact. So the problem is not a lack of ambition, but at least lack of searching the risk. Because moving, for instance, a company in Spain that wants to deploy something in Estonia has to struggle with the problem of the changes of the system, and a lot of companies established there. And which are the size, sorry, Janika, the size of Estonia, of the potential users, if I prefer to move to Argentina. So because Argentina has much more people there. So I think that this is something that in many cases stop the improvement of many things, because there are a lot of entrance barriers for the EdTech companies in general. So it's not easy. It's a market that is not really easy as if you are selling something for the general public. So you can create a new course for something that is general, but if you want to teach history of each country, you have to learn how they teach history in that country. Not only the history of this country, but how it is taught. So it's a lot of effort for probably a small size. So I think this is the main problem there.
We are saved.
Yeah, of course.
Gail,
Can
you
I
want to
add
add
here?
something?
Yes, actually it is so interesting to listen to you, because in Estonia it's like opposite, like you said also, that our edtechs are first, when they're going to invent their companies or thinking about the solutions, the first idea is how I can export my solution, because the market is so small, and when you are thinking maybe with your heart, not with that much with your mind. And I'm not saying that Estonians are not heartless or something like that, but we're kind of like workaholics, and we want to be the unicorn. And they do everything what they can do to export and be as big as they can be, and also really like multi-kulti, so they can export the services and think about the different cultures and how to like fit with the curriculum. So it is like so different how the mindsets and everything is and or are.
Yeah, I know that, because what I mean is there are many different EdTech. So I think that it's important to think about that. The technology can be baseline. You can create a platform to support something above. It's more general. You can export that easily because it's agnostic of the system. But if you go into something too detailed, you have to think about the market. And the first thing is, if I'm in a small market, I have to move directly to another one. So it's not an idea to be.
Kerli, I tell you a secret. He's going to establish an e-company in e-Estonia, and he's becoming e-citizen. So he will be joining your ed soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm not. I'm not in the EdTech directly, so I don't want to fight with you, but I want to be there.
Yeah, but I have to be honest here also that when we said that we have 50 plus members right now, all of these members are not Estonians. We have like members from Japan, from China, what we have from Ukraine, from Latin America, so from around the world, because it is so easy for them to establish their company in Estonia and then like test out how their services and solutions are working in Estonia and then go abroad. Yeah. So yeah, you're welcome.
So the government is creating actually a good environment, right? And that could be one of the strengths of the Estonian system, because you are so flexible. I mean, here in Serbia, during our project, we realized that, and we heard 2 days ago from a lady from the Innovation Fund, that around 20% of the startups in Serbia are moving to the education, but only 1% are in the EdTech. So the market is small, maybe they don't have a courage, or maybe the big players are here already present and it's hard to compete. This morning we had Microsoft, and Microsoft is really pushy. You know, they are offering usually the free solutions to the educational stakeholders. So it's very hard for the small startups how to compete. So is there any difference in Estonia? Do you have also like a big players, or this what you just explained, like export opportunities, or this e-passport, whatever?
Yes, we do have the big players and the small players, but I guess the difference is there that right now the big players are like focusing to going abroad and exporting their services and solutions. And the small players, like you said, they are more trying to find how to collaborate with educational institutions. And like I've always said also to the companies, that you have to find your niche, what you're really doing, and you have to understand the customer, what are you providing to them. And I think one of the main things in Estonia is also how you're going to support the teacher with your solution. It can't be like extra, like when they're giving these classes and I don't know, doing some kind of tasks at at the class. It can't be extra. It has to like help the teacher somehow. So the life is easier for the student and for the teacher. And actually right now we can see also that the big players and the small players I would say are the startup companies, which most of them are our members also. They're kind of like supporting with each other because they're like providing different things, and that's why they don't have that kind of competition also. And if there is competition, it means that the big player has like missed something and maybe don't want to renew his solutions anymore. So, yeah.
So they're more agile. It could be said like that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Adam, since you're traveling a lot, can you maybe like compare and contrast different markets? How do they like differ? Do they have any the same challenges and issues that they are facing? You just mentioned that you came back from Iceland. I don't know if it's maybe a business top secret, something that you don't want to share, but maybe overall you can provide us some overall picture. And I know that you're pretty active on BET every year in London. They're very active in the EdTech. How we can move forward? You know, what are the obstacles for other small countries? How we can be better?
It's really hard to explain because with our own company, we are in 25 countries already, and Iceland is one of them which is officially introduced it into the educational system. But it's really a long way. So we met at BET with the Icelandic Ministry of Education. Actually, at that time when we were together with Janika, they were just in the opposite corner, and that was 3 years ago. So the market, go-to-market life cycle in education is much longer than in any other kind of industry. So it takes 2 or 3 years, and you have to finance it through this. And if you have a product like language related or something, your only option is that you will be bought up by Kahoot or some other companies. So there are really different paths within the educational system. The biggest difference among countries is how centralized the education system is. In those countries in which the autonomy of the teacher or the headmaster is really high, then smaller companies could evolve and can find a way how they can just find their own market. In really centralized markets, it is much harder. And there is some kind of a change in a couple of years ago. The big publishing companies were just ruling the markets in Westly, and now they are disappearing. And it leaves a huge market opportunity for other companies to move in, but it is really hard to track it. And you need some kind of market knowledge at that country. You need some kind of a distributor or partner there, and you have to give them a huge amount of money as a margin for the distributors. And it is really hard to build products and services which can survive this kind of thing. So there is not one solution for EdTech companies on the world market, especially after China just shutting down the EdTech development funding. The US is really a different thing. The US is spending much more on EdTech than all other countries on the world. But it is really hard to penetrate the US market. So you have to really find some different solutions how to get into Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and to that region, and it's not easy. So and one last thing is that there is a huge difference among educational systems which are focusing on how the whole economy, the whole society should be living in 5 or 10 years. If there is a country-wide understanding that how life is changing, then education technology can get a much better chance. If there is no such thing, or the educational system is totally just separated from life or the industry, then they are just focusing on old-fashioned educational goals, and EdTech is really hard to penetrate those markets. So if labor market-related educational development and life skill competence development is in the focus of education, then those competencies are important which are related to technology, and then education technology can move in. And one last sentence to that what is also very important, that technology which exists is not necessarily an education technology. And we can see that how drones and different printings, 3D printers and so on, are just moving into education without educational meaning or purpose, just the technology itself. And if you leave the teachers behind, just find it out what to use it for, that's really leads to disappointment and misfunding. If you buy a lot of equipment and you cannot use it properly, then there will be no results of that. So that's why education technology and these type of associations and the turning to the university is essential for some of the companies to survive.
So the complementarity is also important, not the technology, but the management, organization, how to build the competencies of the teachers, how to use it, and then eventually the student, is the student capable of adopting all those things? And the last round of the question, we have a couple of more minutes. I just want to hear your opinion regarding the future trends. Janika, we wrote some Horizon Europe application together in AI in education, because everyone now talks about AI, ChatGPT, generative AI. Is this the future trend in the next maybe 1 to 3 years, or do you want to add anything else?
It's so easy to be, obsessed with these future trends, and we all tend to talk about it. I have attended this week already 3 or 4 webinars talking about AI in education, and everybody is talking about that. And also there are some people, complementary to talking, trying to give some examples. Please try it, it's so cool. Please, for example, ask, what should I eat for the dinner? Or just make a photo from your fridge and ask, what should I produce? But to be serious, maybe we should just start considering before implementing anything, whether in education or in industry, that as long as the AI might not be as precise as 100%, or I used it at 110%, then we just have to consider what is the price of the mistake. And if the price of the mistake is low, so let's assume that, we are talking just that, let's assume that there is an app predicting how old are you. And okay, it says that, okay, you are 10 years younger. I'm happy about it. And maybe no harm will be done, but on the other hand, if this type of application should make my health decision, so maybe I would still prefer a person. So I consider that education is a field really close to the health. So before being too enthusiastic, leaving everything to the AI, as my specific is robotics, I would say if robot will teach you, who you will get? You will get a robot, not a human person. Because education is also about behavior, about culture, about social relations. And robotics comes together with AI. So I would say, yes, we should stick on the trend, but we just have to understand what is the price of the mistake if we replace the teacher, not supplement the teacher. And we still want to grow people, I hope, not robots or chatbots. Never know. Thanks.
So the people, the future trends are definitely people. Yes. So Luis, you're creating those programs and you're using a lot of AI algorithms. And just one question before going to the future trends: is ChatGPT he or she? What's the gender? Because when you are a programmer, you are coding those things. So,
okay, that's a good question. You can call he or she. It doesn't matter because it doesn't have feelings. So, no problem. You can hurt. So, it's important that in some point we don't try to humanize too much the technology, because the technology is like a tool. You have a hammer to build things. You have AI to build things. So the important thing here is that AI, I've been researching and working in AI since 20 years right now. So I've been always, this is going the new wave, the AI in the 90s, in the 2000 and 2010, 2020, always is, but never it is. So it's something new you need to adapt, to learn how to use, but it's just a tool. So I always said that when I've been teaching, and I always offer the same, computers and all the algorithms are just stupid that works too fast. So they make things too much fast, they don't get tired of doing things, so they can be over-concentrated all the time. But the meaning of the things is something that we have to be careful to use. So that I think this is the important thing. It's not so important that you have ChatGPT to help you, but the important thing is what do you want to do with that. So in many cases we offer in some other educational environment for some clients, they are tired right now that everybody is going to sell them, we are going to use ChatGPT. And that's the first sentence that the providers told them. And when they meet us, they say, don't tell me that you are going to do something with ChatGPT. Of course not. No, we are going to use technology. And it doesn't matter to you what I'm going to use. You need a tool that helps you, right? Okay. Evidently, in some point, we use not ChatGPT because it's some more specific, but you use natural language processing, which is 89, I think, with the first approaches, or even previous to that, with Chomsky grammars. So it's nothing new there, but we have the experience to use that, which is the really important thing is you need a tool that helps you. It doesn't matter what I'm going to use. I can have some small goblins there working the work for you. Doesn't matter. It's going to work, right? Okay, that's perfect. And that's make them to feel that you are not selling the buzzwords right now. You are selling something that works. That's what they pay for. So that's the more important thing. Don't be too alarmed of something new, because the old things is already doing things. So all of us has the Google Maps, and we lost our mind that this is AI, and when it is created in the TomTom navigators and something like that, it's wonderful to have that. Now the phone doing that is not more AI. Well, it's obviously AI, but yeah, we don't think it is anymore.
Thank you. So we're going to stick to technology. Gerli, since we are running out of time, your final remarks. Are we going to stick more to technology, or do you see any new trends?
Well, I hope that we are going to use more technology and be supported or more of the technology. And I really hope that our teachers will find more motivation and help through technology, and also that we as learners and as students in university or at high schools or wherever are willing to see more personalized possibilities or learning ways through technology, so we can understand where are our strengths and weaknesses, and how can we move more towards our dreams, or who are we as a persons, and what should we do, or where should we work.
Thank you. And Adam, your final remarks, the future trends. You mentioned that the budget is cut for technology, but I think it's a bottom-up. I think that the users are the ones who are using it, and then you cannot fight that. You cannot find the change, even though if you don't provide support from the top, right? So the next way is going to be there. So what's your prediction? How long it's going to take?
Well, it has to be really soon. Because of the economy, the labor market crisis everywhere in Europe, it's just forcing to have new solutions to distribute knowledge and skills and competences. And this will not only affect primary and secondary education, but adult training as well. So we have to reskill and upskill a huge amount of people, and that requires a lot of education technology.
Thank you very much. So thank you for all panelists for a great discussion, and please enjoy the rest of the conference for today. Thank you.